Hello, friends. It's your girl, Empress Danny, and I'm back with another episode of the Daily Grind. Stay pouring you up a hot cup of Joe. The intent is to get your day off to a bright and beautiful start. Um, we'll see about how you finish strong a little bit later, right? Perhaps there'll be a midday blend today. But for right now, let's check in and get today's messages. There's something significant about having what could be like undivided attention, being focused, right, in a certain direction. Being on track is significant as well. I do feel like there's a gift, if you will, by being grounded, right? Today brings up the energy of choices, and the reality of life is that we're all faced with choices at different times of life. A decision: am I going to go this way? Am I going to go that way? Right? Am I going to upgrade what could be like the apartment? I don't know why I'm getting someone in a studio. This could be: am I going to upgrade? Maybe it is to a house. Am I going to upgrade the house to a flat? Am I going to upgrade the flat to a man? Whatever your perspective of upgrade is, right? Because everybody's in different situations, and so point of view matters when it comes to the choices that they make, right? If I'm in a position where I have upstairs, downstairs, but I'm weak in the knees, right? I get so weak in the knees, then perhaps my definition of an upgrade is maybe single story ranch. So maybe some of you are looking at housing today, but it could be much deeper than that. This can certainly be looking at yourself, right? Maybe you're making some cosmetic changes. Perhaps they're not cosmetic in nature, right? Perhaps it has to do with an issue or a concern that you've had physically. This can be: am I going to upgrade my issue? Am I going to take it to the next level? Am I going to, what could be like, maybe it is have surgery on this. Maybe it is take some sort of supplement or something of that nature. This can even be looking at things relating to financial health, right? Am I going to spend the money on this? Am I going to make the purchase? Am I going to make any purchase, or this one or that one? Something that affects us, I think, a lot more deeply in many cases is relationships. And so sometimes we're looking at: am I going to be with them, or am I going to be with them? Sometimes we're looking at: am I going to maintain this relationship, or is it better for me to let it go? Often in these cases, the matter has everything to do with whether or not we're going to choose ourselves. And while there are some circumstances in which it's beneficial to you to give to yourself, to perhaps be selfless, in every situation, there's an element of considering how all things at play or involved affect or impact you. And so I do feel like at the end of the day, there's a gift in just taking a moment, perhaps in the stillness. I do feel like today is a good day. If you haven't grounded, grounding may be beneficial. If you have been grounding, then I feel like today something is going to show up that's going to get your attention, and is going to demonstrate to you that if you just remain focused, I do feel like this may be something that catches you by surprise or takes you off guard. But it's kind of giving like an out of nowhere, get your attention and let you know, if you just remain focused, that you're on the right track, that you can expect to see some wins, that you can expect. I heard specifically the word gains. So I don't know if some of you are working to gain. This can be, I hear Clark Sisters, right? Come along, my friend, come along, get aboard and ride this train. Nothing on this train to lose, everything to gain. Maybe some of you guys are working with terrain over at the Occult College. Perhaps that's the case. I just feel as though there's something or someone, perhaps there's a return, if you will, of energy. This could be a return on investment. Maybe you spent some time. Maybe there's something that you did. This could be a kind gesture or otherwise. This can be you've been a friend, right? Remember, universal laws also apply. So this doesn't have to be to a specific person. This is where your integrity comes into play, and everything it is that you do matter. What goes around comes around. So what you did in secret that you thought nobody knew about, right? Be it good or be it bad. I feel the energy of that may be coming back around in some way today, in some aspect of your experience is getting your attention, right? Surprisingly, perhaps, in saying that was a gift to you. Little did you know. Little did you know. I know you did this and you thought nobody was watching, you thought no one was paying attention, but the decisions that you make when no one's looking and no one's paying attention and no one's asking and no one's judging, but you simply making a decision on your own to show up, to be a gift. Well, there's a reward in that. So I definitely feel that. Hey, Isis, good to see you, love. Appreciate you being here. Young Virgo in the house. Thank you so much. Hey, Augustine, what's up, Mom? Mom's create again. I love it. Hey, KP, what's up, Woo Pig? Boji, Boji. Hey, Kez, what's up, Jasmine? Appreciate you guys being here. Ralph in the house. Thank you for being here, love. Appreciate you, Young Wingnut. You know, we need all of our parts on deck. Get that young wing nut going. I ain't put nothing together in a long time. I don't know. Maybe I'm itching to, I got that whole mechanic in me somewhere back there. I've always been the person, I don't know, maybe that's significant. I've always been the person like, if something was purchased, whether it's IKEA or otherwise, I was always the person that like, here, give it to me. I'm the one that don't go, and I do go through, I follow the instructions and I put everything together. Make sure it's put together right. As long as you get all the parts, don't bring me nothing where it's 6 things missing. Like, I don't know. Like, what do I look like? Santa Claus. What do I look like? I'm like, hold on, let me dig around in this bag of tricks and see if we got another screw. Anyway, let's jump in. Hey, Butterfly, good to see you. Nana's in the house. Hey, Ray, what's up, Blue Two Eyes? I know that's right. Come on in, y'all. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing my live. I appreciate that. Appreciate you as well, Sheila. For those of you who haven't followed the channel, please tap that plus sign and give the channel a follow so that you can be a part. It is my intent, my goal to do these messages daily. I'll be honest, they're not always at the same time. Trying to be better at that. I know that will help, but I have a group called the Royal Court. And whenever I am preparing to go live, I message them and let them know, hey, just so you know I'm going on, right? So you don't miss. So I hope that you guys will come be a part. Anyway, let's jump in. I would like to use that group to start a conversation and to work on, we are building agency, so here on TikTok. So my intent is to begin to build a collaborative so that we can work together, sharing tips, tricks, and not just on TikTok, right? But just spiritually, period. We roll in circles, right? We 50 ninjas deep, okay? There is what feels like I get the energy of solidarity of some sort being shown midday. And this is not coming through, I don't feel, in a huge way, but at least very little signs that that you can feel secure, that you can feel safe in a given situation or circumstance. I also get this energy where if you felt maybe kind of like out of sorts, I also just heard out of place. This could certainly be, especially if you're decision making, that midday, some things come in that give you a stronger sense of security in one direction or another. Usually what this means for me is that if you are making a choice and it's like if you're considering something that's not the right choice, then this is something that makes that very clear. It helps you to become like, no, I know for a fact, right? Like I have no doubt in my mind. And seeing signs, it's almost like I don't need to go any further with them or with this. It's also what feels like getting deeper in whatever this is gives you a stronger sense of, I do get this energy of a pull. So I do feel like energetically, in some way, I feel like either you are pulling on someone or someone is pulling on you. I want to be very clear because in the spirit, I see a hook. Okay. So I do feel like be mindful of that. These are things that we must discuss. But the daily grind is not exactly the place for them. But I will just say there are spiritual hooks that can be unhealthy for you. These can be things that people use to reel or to lure you in. And we are not unwise to them. We are not unaware of them. But something makes me feel like if there is a spiritual hook between you and another person, you could certainly be, I feel this energy. So whenever the way that God works, when you make up in your mind that even if it's a realization that was not the right direction, that was not the right person, that was not the right job, right? Because we all make mistakes, right? Whenever we realize like, I went the wrong way, right? Capricorn energy, Saturn, lessons learned, God, I get it. Sometimes I just heard like a dog to its vomit. we keep returning to that person. We keep going back to that place. We keep going back to that thing. And a lot of times it's because of a vulnerability or a sensitivity that we have, right? The Apostle Paul said, the thing that I want to do is the thing I don't do, right? And the thing that I don't want to do is the thing that I do. Why do I keep doing this, right? He recognized that there was something in him. What is wrong with me, right? It can be, I hear Tennessee whiskey. So it can be things. Maybe it is alcoholism. Maybe it's some other ism it is that you have, because there are many. But it can be when you're at times when you're feeling vulnerable, when you're feeling sensitive, when you are maybe feeling some type of way about something, and there is a gravitational pull towards something. So I'll be clear, you could have hooks in areas that it's not necessarily a person, but it's connected to some way that you feel, some vulnerability that you have. When you feel sensitive, when you maybe don't know what to do, you tend to gravitate towards, or it pulls or reels you back in. I see the healer. So some of you, there's an opportunity for you to be healed that's coming in. I ain't gonna lie, I feel the energy of an exorcism. And I know some of you, maybe you're familiar with me, maybe you don't know me, but my family has a long history of we perform exorcisms. I grew up very young as a child, being used in the capacity and even just observing, of removing illness, disease, casting out demons. These are things that I've seen with my own eyes, miraculous healings. It's just been a part of my life, my lifestyle. And so I definitely feel a strong energy where if there is a proclivity of some sort, something that is pulling you in, I feel very connected to the spiritual energy of the opportunity to be made whole today. Things lining up or aligning where I just heard the power of Christ compels you, which is a rite that priests often say when they are performing an exorcism. And so I feel like the power of Christ. And again, this is knowing the truth. This is not good for me. I have to let this go. I have to cut this off. I have to cut them off. I have to get this out of my life. I can't keep doing this. I can't perpetuate these cycles. I can't continue in this sin that grace would abound. I can't keep thinking that I'm going to get second chance after second chance after second chance. And this is where you come with this energy that is a determination. This is a willpower that comes from within, Cancerian energy. This is absolutely not. I will not be distracted. I will not be thrown off. I will not get off track. I will not lose, is ultimately what it says. I am going to win. And some of you, I feel that energy may come in very strong midday, where you feel increasingly secure in identifying if there is a hook there. If it's a positive hook, right? Where it's like, I hear, draw me nearer, nearer, blessed Lord, right? If it's something that has me, something that I don't know why I'm just caught up on this, right? Caught up in the rapture of you, right? It could be something that, again, that spiritually is drawing your attention. If you think about it, right? If you think about an anchor, right? I also just heard God sent me an angel. God will send people and things strategically in your life to pull you out of, to pull you away from. And the weight of the mantle it is that they carry will be so heavy that you cannot remove your, I don't care what it is. I don't care how much of a distraction it is that they intended to serve. I don't care how strong that bind is. This is, God will strategically place things in your life to break it. And so I feel something comes in midday and you're seeing signs, perhaps of both. But that pull, if you will, are signs. This is the right direction for me to go, because the way in which it gives me the groundedness, the sense of security. And I do get an energy of question. Does it draw me closer to God? Does it push me further away from God? And again, the things of God. Does it make me have a stronger desire to focus on the things that I need to do in order to get me past some things in life? Or does it keep, every time I try to leave, something keeps pulling me back, telling me I need you in my life? And that's what I feel is going to be, I just heard the marker. Okay, there could be some significant amount of marker. I don't know why I'm getting like a genetic marker. So for some of you, this could certainly be a generational curse, right? And a genetic marker could certainly be an indication, this is something that they went through, that they went through, that they went through. I just heard I'm not going through. What's up, G? Welcome in. Good to see you, love. What did I say? I said choice, and look at the first card. I ain't even been looking at cards. I've been channeling this whole time. This was the first card out. Okay. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Very grounded energy. One that says, I do get this energy of study to show yourself approved. But for those of you who have been studying, right, even if it's looking back over your life, right, really contemplating and thinking things over, paying attention to those things that require what could be like a high level of detail or awareness. I hear Grace Williams. Wash over me. Sweep over me, I pray. That's soaking music. Some of you may be going deeper spiritually, because I feel there is an anointing associated with soaking, right? Some of you may be in a bath of some sort. But when you soak in something, right, this can be, you think about like immersion is what soaking is. It's like when you immerse yourself in someone's energy, right? This could be like being around a person for a long period of time, right? Being in close quarters, and this could be proximity. It could also be like content, right? Maybe you're consuming a lot of a person's content, right? This can be like conversation, right? You're talking to them a lot. Maybe you're speaking to them, right? They're consuming a lot of, maybe it is what it is that you have to say. These are all forms of study. I just heard consummation. And so I feel like that, and again, you think about consummation, that's a choice, right? I have to choose to consume. I have to choose to take you in or to take this in, right? If I'm eating a meal, right, I have to make the choice. I'm going to eat it or I'm not going to eat it. And something makes me feel like the decision or the choice, if you will, is, I just heard, up for grabs today. This is not something that I feel like you need to be worried about, but it's almost like if it's good for you, why wouldn't you eat it? If it's beneficial for you, why wouldn't you eat it, right? Why wouldn't you consume it and not just, taste, but swallow it? Take it, you know what I mean? Like, take it, let it go through your digestive tract, right? Let it run its course all the way through because it's good for me. Why wouldn't you let that sink in and go all the way down, right? Why wouldn't you want it to be in your system completely if it's good for you? Because of the fact that you have observed, right? I've taken it in. This is like I've tasted, I've seen. Now I know, right? Again, talking about choosing. Am I going to make a purchase? Am I going to do it? Am I not going to do it? Am I going to go? Am I not going to go, right? Am I going to buy? Am I not going to buy? When it comes to that, if whatever it is that you're assessing, if you identify this is good, I suggest you strike while the iron's hot. Why would you not? But again, sometimes that's fear that plagues us. Sometimes it's other aspects or areas of life that hold us back and throw us off track. They serve as a distraction. Why would you allow that to get in the way, to separate you from something that God's love clearly has brought? And I don't know why I'm getting like delivered. Maybe something's being delivered to you today, but something that God's love has delivered to you or delivered you from or delivered you out of. Something makes me feel like that's going to help you make your choices today. If you've been kind of like stepping back and just observing, I feel like that today, the top of the day is you taking something in that creates some element of, it is a fire energy at the top of the day and gives you a sense of desire. It feels like to move on something or to do something because you recognize it's good. And I feel this energy of recognizing an opportunity to create. If it's good, hands on, let me touch it, right? Let me grab it, right? It is like a being at the store, right? If it's in high demand, why would I not, right? Let me snatch that up before somebody else does. So I feel like that's what you're doing. And again, this could be energy, this could be gems, right? It could be information, things of that nature, right? Let me consume, right? Some of y'all, it's breakfast, right? Young breakfast, okay? But it's almost like if it's good breakfast, then let me go ahead and grab that. Okay, so there's a top of the day grab, right? I don't know what you're grabbing, right? None of my business. Then I feel like midday, there's something, I don't know why I get the energy of like, there's something that midday take you, I don't get, I feel like I need to tell you, but something you taking your time. It feels like I don't get slow and steady wins the race. I get the energy of like, I just heard foxtrot. So something feels as though midday, it's almost like I just heard a walk in the park. So perhaps you are going for a walk in the park. It feels like something becomes very easy. As I hear Otis Redding, so much easier to bear. So maybe something is very easy to bear. Whatever this is, it's easy to carry. But that's why I feel like this grounded energy, it gets deeper and you see signs like this is a walk in the park, right? I don't know why it's given like cakewalk, right? I'm a getting cheese a cakewalk. Maybe some of you rocking with Eminem, right? To my player. I don't know. Maybe some of you are monster. Normal during the day, but at night I turn to a monster. I just get this energy where something is a breeze, something is very easy. And again, I do feel like perhaps this has to do with choices at the top of the day, where something is a cakewalk midday. It's almost like ain't nothing to it but to do it. I ain't gonna lie, I see somebody sea walking. Okay, look at however it is that you will. Something is easy. It's easy to walk that walk. Walk that walk. And again, seeing signs, getting deeper, and feeling increasingly secure about going what could be like a certain path. And let me just say that path may not be for everybody, but it definitely could be for you. So if it is for you, don't worry about what everybody thinks or what they have to say. Just take the path that's for you. Okay. Ooh. This leads into the end of the day, y'all. We are going to do a Spotify, and I will say I will have to come back later. I got some other things I need to tend to, so we will come back later and do extended message. There's something significant about an extension cord. That's what I'm hearing when I say that. But I hope that you'll rock with me. Maybe about 9-8 Central, okay? 9 Eastern, 8 o'clock Central, AM, right? We will do extended messages. That's kind of like my that's my plan. So we'll do a brief on Spotify here in just a moment after I finish this last set that's going to close out the day. And be mindful, right? When I'm talking about midday, the day is 24 hours, right? I know a lot of people work around the workday, so let the morning last a little bit longer, right? Let the midday, the afternoon, perhaps go into your evening hours, and then I don't know, maybe I just heard a late night snack. So for some of you, maybe you're snacking late night. This could also be like, I just heard, I'm coming out, right? Maybe you are coming out. Maybe some of y'all, are you stepping out tonight? Can I take you out tonight? Charlie Wilson, right? Also heard something about the movies. Maybe some of you are, maybe some of you, I don't know, maybe you're going for a walk in the park. I don't know exactly what you're doing. I just get this energy of maybe coming out of hibernation, right? This could be after a period of maybe sleeping on some things, thinking about some things. This could even be like coming out of retirement is honestly the energy I get. So somebody could be contemplating that. You could certainly be coming out because maybe there's a position or something that's good for you. This can even be like skills that you retired or that you put on hold, some things that you haven't been doing. Some of you, maybe you haven't been in a relationship. Maybe you haven't been dating. Maybe there's some things that you hung up them shoes, right? Put the little black book away. Or maybe that little black book has been getting more attention than what it needs to. Some of you could be getting that a rest and bringing out another aspect of the self that perhaps is more beneficial. I also get an energy of like a trade-off where if you've been maybe in a position where you've been nourishing, you've been taking care, there could certainly be a return energy where perhaps someone's coming out or they're coming up, and maybe they've been in a position of healing, so they could certainly be in a position where now they're nourishing you. They are maybe I hear Beyonce, I care. So someone could be maybe showing you that they care in some way. And this could be coming out, what could be feelings, information, right? Details. It could also be like work, right? Here I am, right? I just heard work release, something to be significant about that. But this could be like someone who hasn't been really doing a whole lot. I do get an energy of like respite, rest, healing, and perhaps recovery. This could be someone who's coming out of recovery, and in some way they could be taking care. And this could be like after a period, like I said, of silence. I don't know why I'm getting like something dealing with separation. So this could be someone that you've been separated from coming back. I want to be very clear though in this energy when it comes to whatever this is. When someone comes out of something, I feel this energy of like there's something that's going to be fed, and I feel on the other side of whatever this is that's being fed, that's where you're knowing where there is an anchor. I also heard Anchorage, something could be significant about Alaska. I also heard Antarctica in meditation. But I feel like whatever is being fed, and when I say this, I mean like if someone is coming out and they're fearful of something, if they're feeding their fear, that lets you know, don't be, it's almost like these are signs, don't go deeper with them, because fear is not, there is no security in fear. There's no groundedness in fear. Fear is not real, right? For some of you, there could be some significance with the Course in Miracles, right? I know we're due for another passage, if you will, for us to digest and take down. But I don't take lightly the energy of judgment, which was our last lesson, and that's one that if we think about all the ways in which we judge other people, even the ways that we judge ourselves, that's one that I think takes some time to actually get down. So I haven't really had, I don't feel bad about taking the time that I've taken to get to the next lesson, because sometimes these are things that we want to skim over, but judgment is real. And sometimes judging other people, whether prematurely or whether just wrongfully, can put us in a position where making those judgments about others position us to what could be give up things that are not good for us, or excuse me, that are good for us, that were meant to bless us, that were meant to keep us. It can also cause us, those judgments can cause us to do things that where we don't get the benefits, where we hold on to things that we strongly need to let go of, that do us harm or that are detrimental. So I feel like there's something today when whatever this emergence is comes up or comes out, be it information, a person, or otherwise, something makes me feel like if you judge, then this could be demonstrating to you that you judge, because I feel whatever it is that you get, whether it's the nutrition or again otherwise, I feel like you're going to be able to sense whether or not that was a bad decision based on what comes up. Why do I say this? Because when there's an emergence, it's always a reflection of our choices. So when we get back something that I do feel like, I hear Jacqueline Carr, greater is coming. So I feel like when we get things that are greater, it's to help us if we judged ourselves or if we were being too hard on ourselves in terms of what could be like accountability. You know, why haven't you come out of this yet? Why haven't you let this go yet? Some of you need to know that God was it's almost like you just needed to be secured. You just needed to dig deeper. You just needed to stay focused and keep going, and not be distracted by what could be the storms of life. And so what's coming today, I feel, is to show you that there is growth when you give your attention to, when you focus on the things that are deserving of and requiring of your attention. And I just heard calendula. Perhaps there's something significant about calendula. I do feel the energy of a quantum collapse taking place. And I don't know why I just heard the straw that broke the camel's back. So if you've been doing things on your own or by yourself, yeah, I hear Patti LaBelle again, on my own. If you've been doing things on your own or by yourself, or even just having to take care of some of those needs that I get the energy of daunting. I also just heard the name Eugene could be significant. Something makes me feel that there's a quantum collapse coming in that's here to let you know. I hear, who is that? This will be an everlasting love. So something makes me feel like something is going to last. You just have to dig deeper. This is the energy of like, I might need a break, but I'm not going nowhere. And it's almost like that's how God is. Emmanuel, God is with us and lets us know, yeah, I might take my time, right? I might need a period of silence or rest. I might need that sacred space of separation to give to or to take care of some things that are within myself. But dig deeper. I need you to know the way that I am, how I operate, how I work, how I move. Some of y'all, this is the Holy Spirit that's letting you know I will never leave you nor forsake you. And let me break that down for you. In case that last call you made was based on you maybe being distracted by what you see with your 2 eyes or your 4 eyes. I don't know how many eyes it is that you got. But I gave you a 3rd eye, Ajna chakra. Some of you may be giving attention to your brow chakra today. The color purple is significant for helping to express that. So some of you may want to spend some time in meditation focusing on the color purple. Or simply, if you close your eyes and you focus your gaze towards the center of your forehead. That's often a way to do so. Similarly, fluoride and toothpaste is one of the things that can block your pineal gland, which is resting within. And a lot of times, the reason that we miss the signal, it's literally like an antenna that is receiving messages. But a lot of times we miss the signal because of the fact that our pineal gland has calcified. Fluoride is one of the things that does that. So some of you may be switching toothpaste, things of that nature. If you're wanting to open this up, you can simply take time regularly to meditate in this particular space, and you will find there is a real energetic current. You will begin to feel energy gravitating there like a real antenna, how you see zzz, right? You can see the energy around it. You will be able to eventually feel the energy that gathers right here. And a lot of times, sometimes you guys will see me and I don't mind sharing tips, secrets, things of that nature. Like it's not really a secret to me, but you will see a lot of times when I'm listening and I'm actively listening, my head will go down, and it's because I'm listening with my spiritual lens. I'm running it through my 3rd eye, and that's what I have on the situation, the circumstance, scenario. That's also why a lot of times when I'm channeling, I will just draw out names because my 3rd eye sees you, even though my 2 eyes may not be looking at you. So for some of you, there could be some significance around things of that nature. There are a whole lot of other things, and perhaps we will talk more about those in the future. But a lot of times, the standard of eating, the things that you eat, can impact your pineal, but they're not the only things. This has a lot to do with what you consume. You think about if you're picking up a signal from all these other places, right? I don't know why it's giving like smut, but if you're taking in garbage content, these are things also that by virtue of not receiving the spiritual signal can also cause that calcification process where it's simply not being used for those signals that are further out and require a bit more focus. So take that however however it is that you will. This is all for the Daily Grind. I love you. Like, follow, subscribe. Join me on Spotify. We're going to get our brief messages, which typically do incorporate additional messages. I pull a few more cards for the Spotify, but it's usually 5 to 7 minutes. And then we'll be back probably, like I said, around 9 Eastern for the extended messages. I love you guys. Lock in, hit that follow button if you haven't. And if you haven't, join us on Patreon. The replays are always put on Patreon. I know I'm past due. I got something to upload, but they're certainly coming. I have not forgotten, right? I have not forgotten. So just join us on Patreon. The link is in the bio as well. Enjoy the content in the meantime. I love you and have a great day ahead. Bye for now.